Okay, guys. So we're back. Okay, so we're back. I was asking you for a definition of the word tumors. Who can define it? Fatima, can you define what a tumor is?
Yes, Miss.
Yes.
A tumor is caused by herpes virus.
Okay, great. It is caused by a herpes virus in this case, but generally, what is it? I said something about this in the video. What is a tumor? What do you see this on this turtle's eye? What's that? It's what kind of a growth is that? Is it normal?
No, abnormal.
Okay, so a tumor is an
Teacher, what happened?
An issue with the app. So we're back now, okay? So
Okay, no problem.
okay. So a tumor is an abnormal growth in a person's body or in an animal's body, somehow like this, and it could be considered a type of cancer, which is many times could be deadly, of course, okay? So we were saying that those turtles in this sea are, tumors in those turtles are increasing because of what? What is triggering those tumors in
Creation of pollution.
pollution? Exactly, and namely, which type of pollution? What is its source?
The sewages.
The sewage. Okay, what is in that sewage? Great. Which element? Nitrogen. And this nitrogen, what feeds on the nitrogen? What takes this nitrogen in?
It's
Okay. The plants,
Seaweed.
the seaweeds, they thrive on this nitrogen. Are those seaweeds, Kamel, particularly good? Is it a good type of seaweed?
No.
Okay, can you explain the process? So when those seaweeds take this nitrogen and grow, what happens? Who eats them?
The turtle eats them and give them diseases.
Exactly. It triggers the herpes virus, which in turn leads to a tumor, which is a cancerous growth and abnormal growth, okay? Are we clear on that? Now, also in the lesson,
Yes.
something I would like to share with you. Can you see my screen clearly, all of you?
Yes.
Okay. The patterns of
Yes, Miss, we can.
Okay, great. The patterns of organization. In a paragraph, an author organizes his or her ideas in a certain pattern. They could be what? What types of pattern here? I gave the example of Jacob, who was working very hard, and thus, as a result of that, he graduated from college with high distinction. What pattern did the author use in this paragraph with Jacob? Okay, we said, yes?
cause and effect.
Cause effect, okay? The pattern is obviously cause effect. He worked hard, thus he graduated from college with high distinction, meaning high honor. In the above paragraph I'm reading now, the author obviously uses a cause effect pattern to show how Jacob's hard work cause resulted in his graduation with high distinction, the effect. The key word here, what led me to this type of pattern? Obviously the word because, okay? Now, the first pattern that you guys are going to take this year is what? Who can read to me? Number one is what? What pattern? Sharif, can you read number one, please? Michael, can you please read number one? Volunteers?
Yes, Miss, I can read it.
Yes, Fatima, please. What's the first pattern that you're going to read? You're going to learn this year? Yes.
Exemplification.
Exemplification. What is that?
The author gives an example to illustrate his or her idea and uses keywords like, for example, for instance, such as in the case of, etc.
Okay. In a given paragraph, the author would say herpes virus causes tumors in, okay, tumors in sea turtles. For example, the turtles in the Hawaiian Sea have a high rate of cancer. So the author said, for example, what pattern is he using? Exemplification, giving an example to illustrate his or her idea, okay? Number 2, Sharif, what's the second pattern of organization in a paragraph? Sharif? Okay, the second pattern of organization is definition. The author gives a term and defines it. For example, adolescence. Adolescence is the onset of puberty during which a child develops to an adult. The author obviously here is defining. Number 3, comparison pattern, where the author shows the similarities between two different concepts or ideas using words like similarly, likewise, also, like, okay? Number 4, the contrast pattern. The author shows the difference between two concepts and uses contrast words like but, yet, however, nevertheless, though, even though, whereas, while, etc. Okay? So again, what does the term paragraph pattern mean? What is it? What is paragraph pattern, Kamil? Can you guys hear me?
Answer.
Yes, please, Fatima.
Pattern organization. It is a pattern that the author uses to link his ideas together.
Yes, to organize his ideas, he uses a certain pattern. We talked about, let's go back to the previous slide, exemplification, definition, comparison, contrast. Of course, those need to be studied. Needless to say, you need to study those. Cause, effect, like the example I gave, listing or classification. Now, listing or classification, the author lists at least 3 or more nouns, verbs, or adjectives in order for the pattern to be listing. All words listed must be the same part of speech. Who can read the example for listing and classification here? For example, for number 6. Jacob, are you with us? Hussein? Can you read the example, please? Fatima?
Yes, miss.
Read the example, please.
الو روح جيب لي تليفون جديد. الميكروفون مش
I
عم
think
يزبط.
so, Sharif.
جيب لي
Yes,
تليفون.
Fatima, can you read the
جيب لي تليفون.
example?
يا اياد مش عم يزبط مش عم يطلع صوت. شو بعمل
Sharif.
روح جيب لي التليفون الثاني.
Sharif. Yes, for example, Fatima.
Doctors consider 3 main symptoms that
خيي هلا ما عادش بتحط لي علامه. روح جيب لي انا ياد.
Okay, we muted Sharif. Yes, Fatima, sorry.
Shall I repeat it?
Please.
For example, doctors consider 3 main symptoms that indicate the presence of diabetes: constant fatigue, dry mouth, and frequent urination.
What is the author listing here?
The symptoms of diabetes.
The symptoms of diabetes, which is high blood sugar, listing them, classifying them. So the pattern of organization here is one of listing or classification. Both are the same. And you need to tell me the author lists the different symptoms of diabetes. And that's it. Okay. Now the 7th and final one is, time or chronological order. In this pattern, the author, usually used in the narrative, the author organizes his or her ideas in the order of time. For example, who can read the paragraph now for me? Who doesn't have an issue with his mic or her mic? Celia, can you read the paragraph? Yes, Sharif, are you back with us?
Miss, can you hear me now?
I can hear you quite clearly, Sharif.
Yes. Me too.
Miss, I don't know why
Yes,
my microphone wasn't working.
It's okay.
You don't
read
need a
now?
new phone.
Can you read now, Sharif? Number 7.
ليه بدي new phone?
Use the speaker.
Okay, Miss. Number 7?
Yes. Time
Miss, you muted
order,
me.
chronological order, yes.
Okay. Time order, chronological order. The author organizes his or her ideas in the order of time. For example, as he prepared to dwell into the depths of the ocean, he first made sure all his life gear was present and working.
Mhm.
Then he made a courageous leap and dived into the turquoise water.
Mhm.
After that, he tried to pace himself well steadily,
Okay.
moving in a downward direction until he reached the endangered coral reef. He examined it for more than 3 hours until he was able to gather all the information needed for his research. Later that day, he entered all the data he had gathered into his computer and discussed it the day after with his colleagues.
Great.
Clearly, the pattern in the above paragraph is time order. The indicators for such a pattern are many, like first, then, after that, 3 hours later the day, and the day after.
Okay. Do you get the point, Sharif? This type of
Yes.
pattern is
Yes.
chronological or time. Remember from grade 9, I told you whenever you see the prefix chron or chrono, it means something related to what? Chrono or chron related to what?
Time.
Time. Yes. Another
Time.
a fancy word for watch is chronometer if you want the scientific word. Okay?
Yes.
So those are the 7 patterns of organization, guys. You need to study them. Yes, you need to memorize them, of course. Okay? Are we clear on that?
Okay.
Okay, I don't want you guys
Yes.
to be lazy at the beginning. Once you grasp these ideas, the skills at the beginning, you're good to go. For grades 10, 11, and 12, it's the same skills, okay? Now, how am I going to ask you such a question, Adam? Can you read the screen in front of you? How do I ask you questions related to pattern? Bless you.
What pattern of organization does the writer use in the above paragraph? Explain.
Read the answer, please.
In the above paragraph, the author uses time order as a pattern of organization. He uses words such as first, then, later that day, and the day after in order to talk about what the scientist did during that time.
Okay, is that clear? This is how I ask you, and this
Yes.
is how you must answer.
وحش يا آدم.
Okay? Great. Now, Yaoub, how many patterns of organization are there? How many patterns did I teach you? Jacob? Celia, how many patterns of organization are there?
Seven.
7. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you. Okay. Moving on. Now, credibility and objectivity. I hope you guys managed to read this or at least watch it in the video. Credibility and objectivity. What is credibility? What does the word credibility mean? Who can answer this?
Authenticity.
Authenticity. Okay, can you explain further?
Defined as the quality of being trusted and believed.
Yes.
Believe.
If you are Ahmed Aude, a credible person, it means people what?
Trust you.
Thank you. People trust you. People believe you. So when I am an author and I'm writing a piece of text, I need to be credible. How can I do that? How can I be credible? There are 3 ways to be credible.
They need to add certain elements to the text.
Exactly, Ahmed. Like what? Can you see them at the bottom of the screen? What do we need?
Facts and statistics.
Thank you. Yes.
Real life examples, expert opinions, and statement of authority.
Exactly. I need to add those or at least 2 of those in order for me or for my essay or piece of writing to be credible. Okay? How will I ask you such a question on a test? Let's see who hasn't read yet. Michael, are you with us? Okay. Haya, are you with us?
Miss, his mic doesn't work.
Oh, okay. So he said that there was an issue with the mic. Sharif, since you're with us, can you read the sample questions?
Of course, Miss.
Yes. How will I ask you such questions on a test, Sharif? Read.
The writer achieves credibility and objectivity by using proper means of support,
Sharif,
such as facts and statistics. Yes, miss.
so Sharif, read the question first.
Okay.
Hmm.
How does the writer of the above text achieve objectivity and credibility? Illustrate this with specific examples.
Okay, Sharif, objectivity, credibility, authenticity, they all mean the same. Okay,
Yes.
continue, please.
What means of support does the writer of the above text use to achieve accuracy and credibility? Give examples to illustrate your point of view.
Okay, before you answer, Sharif, means of support is supporting evidence. What means, what methods did he or she use to be credible? What methods? Okay, now you can read the answer, please.
Okay. The writer achieves credibility and objectivity by using proper means of support, such as fact and statistics, where she gave us statistics about early marriage among girls in Bangladesh. 29% of girls marry before they are 15 and 65% before they are 18.
Okay.
She also uses a real-life example, where she talked about Sila, a girl whose parents married her off when she was only 13 and died later that year due to complications related to abortion. The author also used the expert opinion of the forensics doctor who examined Sila after her death and talked about the dangers of early marriage. Through these types of supporting evidence, the author achieved credibility, objectivity, and authenticity.
Okay, the last three words all mean the same. So how many types of supporting evidence did the author use here? Three, okay? She gave us statistics, and when you answer me, please, you give me a statistic at least. You give me an example. She used a real-life example. Tell me what that real-life example is. Expert opinion or statement of an authority figure, tell me what it is, okay? You need to state the type of evidence and give me an example. Are we clear on that?
Yes.
What do you notice about answers in grade 10? They are much longer. Answers are like a paragraph, okay? Sometimes,
they're expanding.
Okay, gone are the days of simple sentence answers, okay? Here we need to really analyze, okay? And I'm getting you ready for that. But there's one thing that you guys need to do. You need to study these skills. Now let's move on, please. Okay. Let's move on, please. Now, tumors linked to sewage. I would like someone to start reading. Okay.
Okay.
Who would like to start reading? Let me see. I need to unmute someone. Fatima, can you start reading, please?
Miss, I'll read.
Okay. Miss, do I need to read?
Miss, don't I read?
Read the blurb, please, Fatima.
In the text.
Okay, again.
Read the selection carefully and then.
Okay.
Okay.
Bro, stop.
Fatima, please read. I'm listening. Tumors linked to sewage. Nitrogen from sewers forms as a rise in invasive seaweeds that, when consumed by which can grow on its mouth points, which contributed to declines in the 1.2 meter long turtles listed as the National Union for Conservation of Nature. Green sea turtles are found in the world's tropical and subtropical waters.
Okay, so we read this. What type of introduction do you see?
Interesting facts and statistics.
Interesting facts and statistics. The author used that type of introduction. Okay, if I were to ask you, which I did, the author used interesting facts and statistics, and you need to tell me an example of that. Okay. Now moving on, the author went on about how this nitrogen from the runoff or the sewage is affecting turtles. How? Let me see who I'm going to unmute now. Ahmed Aoude. How did this nitrogen affect the turtles?
Can I answer?
Yes, Fatima, you can, of course.
Nitrogen helped in flourishing the seaweeds that turtles feed on, and when they consume those seaweeds, the nitrogen changes into arginine, and then it generates the tumors by the herpes virus.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So it's what type, if I were to ask you, Fatima, what pattern of organization here, what you said, what pattern of organization is that? You said,
In which
yes?
Which paragraph?
Miss facts and statistics.
The pattern I meant. Okay, she's just giving, she said the nitrogen triggered the herpes virus, which triggered the tumor. What pattern is that? If I were to ask you.
Cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
Thank you, cause and effect, exactly. Okay. Okay, thank you.
What's with the microphone?
No, it's the same people who are entering the chat every time. I only have this issue with 10th grade, only, okay? It doesn't matter anyway. This is all, guys, again, this is all in the videos, okay? In the video and in your PowerPoint lecture. Now moving on, how did the author leave the reader? Let's read the conclusion here. Let's read the conclusion.
Miss, do I read it?
Tariq, yes.
Okay. The seaweed absorbs the extra nitrogen and converts it to arginine. يا خي مين حاطط؟ Do I read now?
Yes.
The seaweed absorbs the extra nitrogen and converts it to arginine, an amino acid. When turtle يا الله.
بس ليه ما بتعملي له كيك لأن عم يعمل هاي؟
قصدي خلص شو جلقة يعني؟
جاد continue, Sharif.
Okay. When turtles at the seaweed, arginine awakens herpes. لا إله إلا الله. Herpes viruses in turtles' bodies.
Yes.
Generating tumors. It is possible that non-native seaweed in Hawaii is better than native seaweed at converting nitrogen to arginine. هاي خلاص.